Welcome back to Spotlight. It's my great pleasure to welcome Mrs. Carrier Christopher, the Director of the Department of Trade, Investment Promotion, and Consumer Affairs. Carrier, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Cromwell. Thanks for having me.
Good, and of course, you're flawless.
Oh, flattery will get you everywhere, so go ahead.
As usual, I mean, everybody expects that of you, you know. You're doing big things.
Trying.
Yeah, you're doing big things. Business of the Year selection will be chosen this end of this month.
Yes.
When is the date?
The end of this month. Actually, it's on Monday, 29th of February at 6 p.m. at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium. And we're pretty excited to have what we want to say a historical event here in the British Virgin Islands that the government will actually be endorsing the first ever Business of the Year. So we really are here to encourage folks to come out. It's going to be a night of, surprises and excitement. And I can't be more excited to have the evening come to pass because there's a lot going on there.
Okay, the 29th, Monday 29th.
Monday
That's
29th.
The following
Monday.
Following Monday.
Yeah.
And there's no admission cost.
It is free.
Yes.
The public is invited. Free really doesn't equate to a watered down program, though. We want to say that the government has agreed to subsidize the whole thing, and really just because we wanted to showcase to the BVI public the immense talent that we have locally. We know that the persons who were chosen for Business of the Month put a lot of effort into being a part of this, and they're prepared really hard for it. We at the Department of Trade, Investment and Consumer Affairs are really working hard to have a wonderful show, and we want folks to understand that this is for sure a competition, and so they're there live on stage basically trying to sell themselves to us as to why they should actually have this covenant title.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Is it going to be where the businesses are making presentations?
Yes.
Because I'm wondering how it's going to all play out as a program.
I'm happy you asked that question. So they were given some really concise rules and regulations. So we don't expect that they would have any issues. But the premise really is that each business will be allowed 2 minutes to come on stage and basically showcase their business or their service, because some would be service orientation. And the thing about this particular show is that the judges are the feature of the show as well. So the judges will be on the stage, and the judges will actually give direct feedback to the candidates and say, well, you were good, you were bad, you really were not that good. And that really can give the audience a part of the evening so that they can actually be feeling what's going on. It's almost, we said it's a Shark Tank BVI style.
Okay.
So the premise really is to get instant feedback from the judges. So our judges can't be quiet. They are very well known judges and persons who are in the industry, so we are very confident with their assessment. And at the end of that hour and a half, the judges will decide who will be the Business of the Year. However, the persons in the arena will get to choose the People's Choice Award. So coming out really has some merits as well.
Okay, so you get to vote for the business that you thought made the best presentation.
Yes.
Okay, and the time when it starts?
6 p.m. sharp.
6 p.m.
And I'm saying sharp, so I hope that everybody is hearing us. We had some meetings to prep the businesses for what's to come, and it was at 10 o'clock, I think it was, and we started 10 o'clock sharp. And everybody else who came in late had to play catch up, because we want to really have these persons understand if you're selling yourself as a business, then my time has to be important. So if you're not serious about your business, then you're not serious about my time. So we're really going to push that time, and hopefully people will understand that we're trying to prep these persons or these businesses of the month to understand that people's time are valuable. So time is a really important factor for us here. And so that's why when we say 2 minutes on the stage, I promise you,
it's
2 minutes on the stage. Yes.
So we're changing over from Department of Trade. It's changing over from Caribbean time to international time.
Well, I think so, because we here in Tortola, really Caribbean and truly, we really don't have respect for people's time. So part of this competition really is managing your time. And so while we don't want to scare the businesses at all, we want to make sure they understand presentation is key. So they get 2 minutes, 30 seconds before their 2 minutes is up, they'll have a little bell letting them know that it's 30 seconds, and mid-sentence, mid-presentation, 2 minutes is up, we won't scare them and say, get off the stage.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a nice, beautiful voice and say, time is up. And they'll be escorted off the stage nicely.
So how many nominees you have?
10, and we're so excited to have the 10 businesses participate in this. And
These are the 10 businesses of the month. Because we
Yes.
had a year-long business of the month.
thank you for bringing that up, because
Yes.
we have persons calling us and cussing us out and emailing us, and how come y'all pick ABC and how come y'all didn't pick me? So what had to happen really was that we had a year of promoting business of the month, and we encourage anyone to really come in, nominate yourself or have somebody nominate you, and then we will assess whether you were able to be business of the month. So for all the persons that were business of the month, now they are into this pool now, so it's not really open to the general public. You would have had to been a business
chosen as a business of the
You
month,
would have
yeah.
had to been a business of the month.
You got to work your way up.
Well, yes. And so within that pool now, those businesses now get to compete to who will be business of the year.
So now you're preparing for Business of the Year
Yes.
2017.
Yes.
So that means that persons who will be asking you these questions about why you didn't choose me will now have an opportunity to first apply to become Business of the Month.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So hopefully
How do you
the
do
time. The applications are there at the Department of Trade. It's online for the government's website. You basically get nominated, or you can nominate yourself. What we look for really is a couple of things. Your philanthropic duty to the community. We think it's important that you give back. We look at how you have incorporated your local persons into the business. We really feel that while we want to encourage a vibrant economy and everything else, we really feel that you need to be able to employ local persons, of course, and we want to see what kind of product and your services. So whether these people know it or not, I think they do now. We send shadow persons out to our prospective businesses to kind of check out what their experience was, and so they can come back and tell us, well, you know what, I think that was a really good place, and then that helps in the assessment. So if anybody wants to really question it, we are actually ready for that. We have our criteria right out there. Anybody can come and really assess how we judge the persons for Business of the Month, because we think it's a very transparent process.
Okay. And who are your nominees?
We have F&M Halal Outlet. We have Green Crete BVI. We're happy to say, before I finish that, that we have persons from the sister islands, and so we're very excited about that. We have the Rock Cafe. We have Treffle. We have Soleil Spa, Akia Brewley. We have Mia Moore. We have Pearls VI and Bella Blooms. So we think it's going to be really interesting. They're flooding our phones.
That sounds like the who is who in the local business.
Well, we like to think that way.
Yeah.
And we're excited that they're excited to be a part of this, because they call and sometimes they stump up some of these questions. Because some people are really extravagant with their presentations, and they want to make sure everything is concise. How big is the screen? What's the dimensions of the stage? I mean, they ask us some really serious questions. So we hope that means that they were preparing for the ultimate preparation of their lives.
So now in the choosing of the Business of the Year, what the judges going to be looking for? What's going to be the criteria?
Presentation. The first thing is we want to make sure that persons are confident about their product or their service. You have to be able to sell that service or that product as if I or anybody on the stage had no idea what it was. So you have to be confident in your presentation. And as I said before, the judges actually get to ask questions right on that stage, and they don't know, and I don't know what the judges will ask. Right, I have no idea. Time. You have to have the premiere is big on innovation. And so while we understand that some of the businesses of the month are a service-oriented business, we encourage the presentation itself to be creative and innovative. We even have a separate prize for being innovative, and you have to be concise and you have to be exciting. It has to be able to move the audience. So if you have to want to come to your business. Yeah, so if you're selling bread and cheese, you better say that cheese will melt on your mouth and delicious. And I mean, we want you to just make us feel like we have to get that bread and cheese today. So that's part of the whole package.
Okay. Now, what are the awards that's going to be given out?
Well, obviously, the Business of the Year is a covenant title, and the winner of that business will get $7,500 cash to inject in their business. Because the premiere is bent on that innovative aspect, we're going to have another cash prize of $1,500 for the business was the most innovative in their presentation and their product and or service. And of course, we'll have the People's Choice Award. We have just been since given the okay to incorporate partnerships with the bigger industries in the BVI, and so we're looking to have service providers provide whether a year of free service, internet service, phone service. We're trying to get the trust companies to help these businesses incorporate their business for free, lawyers to give advice, marketing. So there's a slew of different prizes, and they all matter when it comes to businesses. So we're not going to
create a support mechanism,
absolutely,
a system around the businesses.
It has to make sense. So we're not going to give away a trip to Puerto Rico to shop. That doesn't make sense for business oriented. So all of the prizes really are specific to your business and how we can entice your business and ensure that it grows and it really works for your betterment.
Okay. So the People's Choice Award, have you determined what their prize is going to be, or they're not going to get a prize? Just going
they will get a prize. We want to keep something secret. We can't let everything out of the bag. The exciting thing about the People's Choice Award is that it's going to be live, and so the persons, it's only open. So this is why people must come out.
Yes.
And so if you are one of the contestants, it's in your best interest to bring a ton of people out there to support you, because this is where the audience themselves get to decide, well, I thought that this person would have been the best person, and everybody wants that the public should love them. So we think that's a really excited prize as well to get.
So the important thing I think for people to know is that it's going to also be entertaining.
It must be entertaining. I would have failed if it's not entertaining, and I'm not going to fail. So we can promise you it's going to be a real entertaining show. We want to also say, Cromwell, that we have just decided, well, not just decided, but we've now made it public that within the show, we thought it would be great to honor some of the stalwarts in the BVI, persons who have paved the way for us to have this vibrant economy that we do have now. And so by extension of that, we're going to be honoring a few businesses that, and I have to be careful when I say this, because, you know, we were vetting this and vetting the process and saying, Lord, we hope we don't forget anybody. Businesses that were started in the town area that are still in existence now, that have been there from the inception of our economy. So we have persons like E.A. Quickie, like Clovers, like Bob-Ops, those kind of people. We're going to take a time out of this entertainment section to say thank you for paving the way for these young people right now. Yes. So we think that would be a wonderful addition to the entire evening as well.
And I think it's important for us to know our history. A lot of us don't know about these old businesses that have been there in the BVI for very, very long. From the time I was going to secondary school.
Exactly.
You know, that's 50 years ago. So
so we had to do a lot of homework to make sure that we kind of, you know, look at the lines to see, well, how long this business was in. But it's important, though, that the persons who will be honored on the 29th, I want the public to understand. So don't call us, don't blow up my phones and tell me your grandfather had a store. The businesses must still be in existence today. Even if it meant that the son or the uncle or somebody is still carrying it on, it must be still present today. So we think we were thorough in kind of vetting those, and we feel that people will be really pleased with that part of the show as well.
Well, I like history, and from a historic perspective, that sounds like it's going to be really interesting.
Thanks.
Okay. Now, of course, the Trade Department, since you've taken it over, from what I could see, has been very innovative. There's a lot going on in terms of trying to develop small businesses program.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the goals, what your overall vision and goals are for the Trade Department. I'm saying Trade Department because the name is really a long name.
It is a mouthful,
Yeah, there's some specific components, like the consumer affairs component I want to touch on briefly. I don't want to put you on the spot, but if I don't, the people will kill me tomorrow.
This is a live show that they could call in?
They can't call me. So they want to do that when they kill me on the street. But talk about some of the programs, because I know there's a lot of programs going on for business development.
Yeah. Well, it started really with the name change of the Department of Trade, Investment Promotion, and Consumer Affairs. So it is really a big mouthful. Of course, the trade aspect has to do with the processing of the trade licenses, and that's a really big part. But for a very long time, the Department of Trade was only known for processing trade licenses. We have changed quite a bit of things that going on with that process. We like to think that the process is quicker. I like to think, well, we know for a fact it's quicker.
What's the average time of delivery now?
Well, I'm very proud to say that most persons don't have to wait more than 2 weeks to get a trade license. If you're Cromwell, maybe you can get it in a day.
But that's not.
No,
That's not
2
nice.
weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks, but depends on.
not nice.
I gotta put the asterisk there because it depends on the type of business it is.
Yes.
Some businesses require inspection, and so we have to make sure that we do our due diligence. Some businesses require that they show us proof that they have the requisite staff to be in this type of business. But we like to say, at least for the local companies, we like to say 2 weeks is the average. We're very proud of our turnaround time now. Obviously, for those that are not local, they take a little bit longer to vet the information, etc., etc. So there's some stuff that has changed with that. We like to say now that businesses will no longer be able to be put on hold, and we will do a whole ton of PR with those aspects of it, because we have a huge database, and for a lot of it, the data is not accurate because they're so old, and so we're trying to clean that up. And we do have now our new junior minister, the Honorable Marlon Penn, who's really into having accurate database, because he is into
He's data driven.
He's data driven,
Yeah,
so
he's
we love
data-driven.
that.
Yeah.
So that's an aspect that the public will be hearing from us a lot. And the investment promotion section, that is a part that the Premier really wants me to focus on really a lot. And so our theme has been for a while now, fueling the entrepreneurial spirit. And that for us has been a big part of where our energy went, because it's important for us to make sure that the local public understands that the Department of Trade is here to, hold their hands. And so we put a lot of effort into our local entrepreneurs, because we are preparing the country to get ready for that international investment. So a lot of my work now will have to generate in terms of bringing in international investors into the country so they can invest in our beautiful island. And that's not a scare tactic. We want to make sure we say that. Any investors that come into the BVI will have to invest with local people, and it's going to be done where our people are not being disenfranchised. But it is known that if we have such a beautiful place and we have so much potential, a lot of times though we don't have enough persons with the capital that are here. So it just makes sense to try to bring folks in for the benefit of the country, and we will vet those persons very well, I can promise you that. And so our focus is really on that right now.
I know you've been doing a lot of workshops and seminars and so on. You got one coming up?
We have one now that's going on actually right now,
Right
the
now?
Smart
Okay.
Business Academy. We have a contract with Professor Devon Robinson from out of Atlanta, Georgia. He is a dynamic, hilarious, talented young man, and he comes here once a month. And so far we have about 50 persons enrolled in that class. It's a year-long program, and it really gets you prepared for owning your own business. And if you already own your own business, it strengthens your knowledge and the things that happen every day that you probably may have forgotten. That's a year-long program. You get certified when you're finished, and that's something that we're really excited about. And he has really been, I want to say he has exceeded our expectations with that aspect of it. He's really a wonderful individual. And we do have our National Business Bureau.
Yes.
I know you're going to ask me about that, so...
Well, I'm glad you raised it.
I gotta raise it before you raise it. Let me get my section out there. Our National Business Bureau, that section or that unit really is responsible for the local workshops and making sure that we hold the person's hands, those young businesses and even older businesses out there, we hold their hands and provide workshops. And of course, we have the government's loan guaranteed program, which we're very proud of, where we're able to offer financial assistance. It's not a grant. It's a loan, but at a really, really low reduced rate. So we get to offer financial assistance to persons out there who would like to have a business or who have an existing business, because we really believe that we should be able to help as a government fuel the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great work. Now, there's a topic I know that's dear to your heart, consumer affairs. We don't hear a lot. We're not hearing a lot about consumer affairs, but we are hearing a lot from the public.
Yes.
About some challenges that they are having as consumers, and of course, if I don't ask you this question, as I said, people have just stopped watching the show altogether.
Oh, so I'm just a caveat here. I have to answer now.
Yeah. But what are we doing about consumer protection, consumer affairs, complaints of consumers? Do we have a place to come? Because we don't know if we have a place to come
Right.
to voice to lodge a complaint, to voice a concern, to get redress. You got, for example, goods on the shelves that are outdated. Sometimes you take home your bag of flour, it's full of evil. There's a lot of things going on. The services are not being delivered as promised.
Yeah.
So how are we handling that from that perspective?
It's a valid question. We do have a unit. We are working feverishly on having a consumer legislation. And so that's, to be honest, that's where we're at now. I would like to say unequivocally, though, that the Honorable Mayor is very stern on making sure that this is an aspect of the department that we put a lot of energy in as well. What we have done in the absence of our legislation is have ties with the different departments. So I am so proud to say that persons like our businesses, the units like environmental health, Miss Yolanda Penn and I, we speak often, so we work in tandem together. The Commission of Labor, that's like my best friend in work, because we work to make sure that things are addressed. I can tell you about a scenario where now if we do a trade license and it's for an overseas company, and we say out of your employees 70% must be BVI Islanders, that is copied to the Commission of Labor, and then she directly works with me. So we have to make sure that our people are being gainfully employed. We want to try to close whatever gaps there are as much as we can in the absence of legislation. But there absolutely is a unit there. We're trying to put a lot more into the unit, of course. Obviously, Standard Finance is still in the middle of it, but I can assure you that that's a focus that we have major attention on. And we absolutely understand that with the age of internet, where there's Facebook and instant communication, people get to vent really quickly. And so we understand that that's something that has to happen, and we don't take it personal. We just encourage persons to come and talk to us. And we promise you that we address every single issue one by one. Even if we can't change it, we listen and we address where we can address. So there's a lot of room to be for improvement there, but I am proud to say that we have made tremendous strides in that aspect.
So persons can call the Department of Consumer Affairs
if they have a
complaint?
Absolutely. People call all the time, and we encourage them to call, and we get calls, and we are those persons that I can tell you, I personally go to the stores whenever we had those issues with whether the water or the macaroni and cheese. I personally was at each and every one of those stores with our trade inspectors. We basically said, listen, these things must get done. We spoke to, I don't want to call any of the supermarkets' name, but it was understood that any person that bought any product would get a full refund, and we made that very clear on our press releases and everything. And so we like to think that we were working hard to make sure we make a difference. It might not be a great, huge difference, but there's definitely a difference happening in the Department of Trade.
Yeah, that's good to know. That's great. So, the 29th of February.
29th of February.
Everybody got to come out.
Everybody, please come out. We hope between all of these businesses, if each business brings out a crew of people, 70, 80 persons per person, we hope to have a full house. We have to have a full house. Yes. It's gonna help with the excitement. It's a lot of work we put into it. It's some great prizes, and more importantly to us, really, the opportunity for these businesses to extend themselves so much further. And I have to say, Kwangwell, one of the things that we have done was we invited the bigger businesses also to come, because it's important that these bigger, more established businesses sit and see what our young entrepreneurs have to offer. So that's an instant and beautiful opportunity for them to network right afterwards. It's really going to be a super awesome time, and we really hope people come out.
And I think we ought to encourage the teachers to bring their students out on a field trip.
You read my mind. We actually are going to be sending out letters to the high schools, specifically to the high schools, to address to all of the principals, asking them to bring the students out. We understand it's 6 p.m., but they can carpool or whatever is legal in the educational system. We want to really pique the creative juices of our young people at that tender age, so that they can come out and say, "Wow, if they can do it, I wonder
can do
what
it
I
too."
can do."
Yes.
You know, so that's the whole concept, really, to
Yes.
really get people's. I'll bring my kids
We need to
there.
get all the high schoolers out, the college
Absolutely.
students,
Everybody needs
look
to come
and
out. Just
to
look.
get that sense of entrepreneurship.
Because if you look back at what we have today compared to what we have grown leaps and bounds, and we didn't have this kind of exposure 20 years ago. So if we gave our young people this type of exposure now, I wonder what the BVI will look like in the next 20 years.
Absolutely.
And it starts from now.
And many persons don't know, and I don't want to prolong the conversation, but I'm enjoying it so much. Many persons don't know that we come from a history of entrepreneurship.
Right.
I mean, I grew up in a village where everybody was an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
The farmer was an entrepreneur. The fisherman was an entrepreneur. You had many women. You know, the woman liberation thing didn't apply to us. Many women were running their own businesses and making contributions to the community in terms
Yeah.
of services, goods and services. And I grew up around contractors. My father was a contractor, boat builders, carpenters. I mean, I grew up around entrepreneurs. And so the BVI has a history of entrepreneurial spirit. So I think we need to continue to foster that in our children. I'm hoping that you could get all the kids out from the high schools and the primary schools.
We're trying our very best. We're going to be sending all sorts of emails and invitations, and I'm here today at 8:30 trying to make sure that people feel that excitement that we have, because we really are excited. We're exhausted, but we know that it's a really good program, and we really want people to come out and feel the excitement and cheer on your persons and champion this wonderful cause that every single person will benefit, because we know that if the businesses here in the community do well, that means that the whole territory will do well. We thrive on the small businesses, and once they do well, the
economy is going.
The economy must grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. It's good to see you.
Always good to see you.
Yes. So that's the 29th of February. That's Monday. And it's 6 p.m. sharp.
6 p.m.
Be
sharp.
there on time at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium.
Yep.
We have 10 businesses competing for the new prestigious award of BVI Business
of the Year.
And
I want to say before we leave that we are so into making sure that people feel that spirit from the time you hit the steps of the Eileen Parsons Auditorium. You will feel a difference. I can't tell you everything now, but I promise you will be wowed from the time you hit the stairs. You will feel like, wow, this is something I'm happy that I came to. So please come out.
And some people want more information can call the Trade Department.
Absolutely. The Trade Department, that's our focus for the next week and a half. We are ready for any questions. Come out, call us at 468-2008 or 468-4280. And really ask us whatever questions. You really come out. It's for kids, it's for adults, it's for everybody, and it's free.
Yes.
So,
good to see you.
Always good to see you, Cromwell.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break for word from our sponsors. When we come back, we're going to come back with the members of the H. Lavey South Community College. We're going to be talking about the upcoming concert. Yes, it's going to be a mega concert. Award-winning Lady Smith Black Mambasu is going to be in town. South African all-male choir. And when you're going to hear some of the music tonight, you're going to want to be at the Eileen L. Parsons Auditorium. So keep it locked right at the Spotlight. We'll be right back after these words from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited, the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, and CCT Global Communications.